Hey, I know it's late, but here's my out of the theater reaction to Frankenstein 2025. And you'll also get a goofy Rob story. All this coming up. Hey, welcome into Rob Ride's Gen X Pop Culture. If you're actually watching me live, I'm so grateful that you are up this late. It's 1 o'clock Central, um, and I just got back from seeing Frankenstein 2025. It's a very limited release, and 10 o'clock was the only showing that I could find that I could go to. So here I am. Sean Carter, yay, you're in the chat. Welcome in, my friend. I hope you're having a good evening. Um, Guys, I'll tell you the goofy story first. It's a short, goofy story about me. It would figure that it would happen to me. So living in Texas, in North Texas, we had a lot of thunderstorms that came through. And what do you know? The thunderstorms started right when I was leaving for the movie theater. So driving to the theater was a fun adventure in the rain. Getting out of the car was fun. I had my umbrella. I decided, oh, hey, I'll take this shortcut right over by the shade, by the movie theater, and get in without getting so wet. My mistake was that the drain system was spitting out right by the shelter thing, and I couldn't avoid it, and it hit and soaked my right foot and shoe. So here I am, not quite soaking wet because I had an umbrella and I got parked close enough to where I wasn't really a little bit wet on my arms, but that was about it. But my right foot from about the a little bit above the ankle down was completely soaked. So the first thing I did was try and find a restroom. Found the restroom, and I was like, okay, maybe they've got some of the blowers where I can get my sock dry and my shoe dry. Nope, they only had paper towels. So I had a wet foot. So I got my popcorn, got my candy, got my drink, got in the movie theater, and fortunately, it wasn't as crowded. So right when the movie started, I watched the movie with a barefoot, which was kind of disgusting. But I wasn't going to have a wet sock and shoe on for 2.5 hours because it's a long movie. Anyway, that's my Rob goofy story because only a goofy thing like that can happen to me, right? Anyway, yeah, that's a goofy story. If you've got a goofy story that you want to share, feel free. But let's get into this movie here. So here's my initial reaction. The first thing I thought of out of the movie theater, this thing does not belong in Netflix. Netflix, what are you doing? This deserves a full release. This deserves a full release. Um, I'm not going to give any spoilers away, but it is, for me, it's about an 8 to an 8.5 out of 10. It is a solid movie. It's a good movie. Uh, Borderline great, almost excellent. The problem that it has is there are a couple of slow spots in it, but it is a good story. The acting is well done. The scenery and the sets are great. They use practical effects, which I enjoy and love. There's heart to this movie. There's a good story. You're sitting there, your mind is racing as you're going through this and wondering what's going to happen next or how the first part sets up with the rest of the movie. There are stories within the story, which is great. You get a backstory for Frankenstein, and you get an interesting story for the monster, and it all accumulates together in a really nice, tidy story. Del Toro does a great job in this film of directing. I like the cinematography. I thought the acting was good. Del Toro is he does some weird stuff, but it's not as weird as like Pan's Labyrinth or anything like that. There's a lot of innocence, a lot of heart, a lot of really touching scenes where you are kind of in awe and wonder, and you kind of feel with the characters and kind of think with the characters. And I thought that was great. But I do think there are some slow parts to this movie that make it a little bit long. The running time is about a little bit over 2.5 hours. With the previews a little bit longer, so it was like start at 10, got at about 12:40 with the previews, which today they show you previews of everything for like 20 minutes now. But this is a good movie. This movie does not belong on a small screen at all. Netflix, you need to find a way to get this out in theaters more so than you have right now. This is one of the best movies I've seen this year. I'm serious. It's better than I gave Superman and what, a 6, and I saw Fantastic Four, and I saw some real stinkers. This one was actually good. This one is actually interesting. You can't really compare it to the original Frankenstein, which I dearly love. They have some similarities into kind of the realm of madness, but they're not the same type of movie. There are elements there, but this movie has, the best way to describe it without giving you spoilers, and I don't want to spoil it at all for you because this is just fantastic, is that it has heart and it has soul. And it tells a story from beginning to end. You kind of understand each character. The only issues is there are a couple slow scenes and kind of a slow burn at the end, but it works, and it works really well. This is something that I think when you give somebody like Del Toro a creative room to make his own movie and let him create his art and create something that's he's passionate about, then you get something good like this. There are no woke vibes in it. You might think that with one of the characters, but it's not. It doesn't go woke at all. And Wes Cagle, hey, he's still up eating some dinner. Oh yeah, I'm glad both you and Sean Connery are here. Thank you. But it's good. It's a good movie. It's a solid movie. You're sitting there and you kind of feel for Frankenstein because it goes into Dr. Frankenstein's past. You get a feel for Frankenstein's monster. You get a feel for the other characters, and it makes you think as well. What does it mean to be human? What does it mean to be part of a family or a monster? It's interesting. He does that really well with it. And I think that this belongs in the theaters, not on the small screen. You definitely, if you get a chance, if you've got it in your area, I'd recommend going to see it. Like I said, I give it an 8 to an 8.5. Probably the best movie that I've seen this year. Way better than some of the crap that I've seen. Way better than Tron Ares, Fantastic Four, any of the movies I've seen this year. This one was actually good. It's got heart. It's got soul. It's a unique take on the Frankenstein story. It has some of the same elements, but not exactly the same. So, Sean says, I'm really hoping they decide to release this more widely. Your theater up there is the closest to me. What a shame. Let's push for it. Yes. Honestly, Netflix, you need to make a deal with a distributor and get this out there. Honestly, this movie, I don't really care about the Oscars anymore, but this, if I did, this would be something that would be worthy of a good, solid movie. And it's not woke. It's not trying to preach anything. It makes you think about life and what it all means in a way, but it's not trying to push anything on you. It's just trying to tell a good story. And it does that. And the cool thing is that you get different sides of a story that accumulate and come together. And that is cool. There's some action up front. There's some action in the middle. There's action at the end. It really is character driven and story driven. I love that. Probably the best story that I've seen this year too, because it just you it starts off a certain way, and then you're introduced to the characters, and you're wow, you get different sides of different things, and it's really good. I mean, the guy who plays Frankenstein does a great job. He's fantastic. I thought he did a marvelous job. Um, the actor playing Dr. Frankenstein, he's all right. Oscar Isaac, he's all right. He's fine in it. I didn't think of his Star Wars role when I was watching it. I just was mesmerized as to the character that he was playing, and that's how it should be. This is how movies should be made, with creators that have a passion about a movie and a story they want to tell, and they tell a story, and they take you on an adventure, or they take you on a path where you can see something. Um, so yeah, I mean, West Kegel, yeah, if you're close enough to New York and can find a theater, if you're closer to Philly, try and find it if you can. Now, I will tell you, it's a little bit long, nearly 3 hours with the previews, but it's worth it. There are a couple of slow spots in the movie, and that's the only bad part about it. But I don't know. It's slow for a reason, because you have to kind of build up to it. And there's one or two scenes with medical stuff that you kind of cringe. But other than that, um, it's good. It's not. I wouldn't say it's a straight up horror like slasher movie. I wouldn't say it's that quite the classic horror movie either, but I would say that it's its own unique thing. I wish. Put the Kindle back. Uh, Love that line. Love Young Frankenstein. By the way, I'm working on a review for Young Frankenstein that's going to come out next week, along with probably another monster movie. I'm thinking Dracula. And then also, I've got ready to go for you on Sunday, coming up, the Simpsons Treehouse of Horrors top 12 episodes, because I couldn't do just 10. That's going to be a live stream at 5:30 Central Time on Sunday, the 26th. But guys, any questions? The previews actually did it justice. It's quite good. This movie needs to be out. Netflix, get off your rump, get this out there. Everybody I talked to after the movie that was in my theater, I go, this does not belong on Netflix. This belongs in a theater. And people agree. But like, my first reaction was, that was good. It was a good movie. I think it was just a good story, a good story. And it took me to a world and to a place where my mind could race and my imagination could go. And I wasn't dealing with real world political garbage that's been fraternizing our films for the past couple of years. I could turn my brain off from that and just enjoy a movie and a story. And I got to see practical effects and sets. And I got to sit there and think, oh my goodness, what is this guy? What is this person? Yep. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So I watched Dracula the other night, and I think I'm going to do True Dracula, and I'll put that out for Halloween, because I love the original Dracula. Uh, yep, the Children of the Night. What beautiful music do they make? Uh, and then Renfield on the ship. Yep, when the dock workers find him, he's still chilling. Yes, yes. Yep, I just gotta write it up and do the screenshots, and I'll do a 20-minute video on that. So hopefully it'll be as good as my Headless Horseman one is. I mean, that thing's really taken off, and I'm so thankful for my audience for doing that. But any questions from you guys? What do you guys? Any thoughts? Anything you want me to answer? Of course, I want to stay clear of spoilers, because I don't really want to spoil it for you guys. But I think Del Toro does a great job of bringing in parallels and telling a really fine story. Now, Pan's Labyrinth is probably the weirdest movie I've ever seen. It's not quite on that level. It's very straightforward. I had a question from up above. Uh-oh. Let me see if I can find that question here. Does a blind man make an espresso? No, no, but the blind man's in there. The blind man's in there, and he has a different drink in mind, but it's interesting. Of course, the blind man in reality is in Son of Frankenstein. If you've seen that movie, I love Son of Frankenstein. Son of Frankenstein is one of my favorites. I like Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, but Son of Frankenstein I think is unique, and I think it's a really good movie. And there's a lot that's in Son of Frankenstein that Young Frankenstein parodies, like the blind man. But yeah, there's a blind man in there, and you'll see what happens with him. So that's all I say. There's none espresso or anything like that. God, that scene with Gene Hackman is so good. And yes, I'm getting screenshots as we speak for Young Frankenstein because I'm doing a video on that. Is that as good, better, or just below the original? How does it compare? Okay, so the original Frankenstein is unique and interesting. This one is a little bit different from that because while Frankenstein focuses in on the creation and kind of the monster aspect, this one takes it to a different level and kind of asks the question is about what does it mean to be alive in a way. So it's different in that sense. It's not like the original where he's a straight up, you have feelings and you have a story to tell and a story to find out with the monster because he's not as monstery as the original Frankenstein is the best way I can put it without spoiling the movie. It's unique. It's got some of the elements that are there, which is great. Even some that aren't there. So they do some of what he did in the original and some of what he did in the book, but this one takes it to a different level. I love the original. I think this one is on par with the original, but it's a different story. It's a completely different story. And the way that they tell it is unique and interesting. Yeah, one second. Excuse me, pardon me. But yeah, I think it's up there with the original, but it's not the exact same story as the original. It's a unique, different kind of story. And it's got elements from the original, but I like it. Um I'm hoping there's an inspector with the wooden hand looking for the monster. No, unfortunately, there's not. I'll tell you that right now. But it's fascinating what happens with the monster and what you get to see because where it starts and where it goes and where it ends is really really kind of unique and interesting. Um, Ironically, the inspector with the wooden hand is also in Son of Frankenstein, um, and they do play darts in Son of Frankenstein. But I do love that scene in Young Frankenstein where they're playing darts and the inspector looks over and sees that Gene Wilder's turned and he takes the darts and he puts them on there and then he takes his hand, he goes like he's throwing them and nice grouping. So, but yeah, Young Frankenstein. I almost think I should probably do a live stream on Young Frankenstein instead of doing a video. What do you guys think? Because that movie's so awesome and there's so much to it. Um, uh, it's fairly faithful. I haven't read the story in a long time, so I need to. I've got it. It's in there. It's my classic, but it's interesting. I don't know that it's entirely faithful to the book. I've got to read the book again. The book escapes me. I forget the book, but I think it's its own unique thing, and I think it's just a really good story. It is. I got lost in the movie, and that's what I go to the movies for. I want to get lost in a story. Get me lost in a good story that entertains me for 2.5 hours. And it did. It got me lost in a good story and an interesting story. what's the meaning of this? What's the meaning of that? And it's very character driven too, which I love. But yeah, anything else? And no, there's not a putting on the Ritz number. I wish there was. But this movie's unique, very unique. Sorry for spreading out the last question. Just trying to keep ahead of Sean in an XP battle. Okay, so you guys are playing games while talking to me. That's awesome. I love it, guys. That's great. That's what I love about this community and these guys. But yeah, this one's really good. I know I talked to Heather and she's going to try and see it this weekend. So we'll give you guys more of an update. Hopefully we'll have pop culture breakdown. Hopefully Doom Cock will be back. Continue to just pray for him and family situation. I don't know any more details about that. All I know is that he's got a family emergency and we just need to pray for him because he's a great guy and he needs our support. Wes Cagle go to stove a car. Oh man. So, but yeah, folks, if you're just popping in, yeah, I think Frankenstein is one of the best movies I've seen all year. I give it an 8 to an 8.5. If you can find it, and it's limited run in a theater, go see it. It's going to be available on Netflix on November 7th. But Netflix, you need to get off your butt and go to a distributor and get it in the movie theaters because I think this film is worthy of the big screen, more so than a small screen. It's worthy of watching it and seeing it on the big screen and seeing a good quality movie that gets you in a story, you know. Just playing in Dallas again on November 14th. Yeah, maybe if you can make it up here. Up to you, Sean. Depending upon if I'm busy or not, I'd be up for maybe seeing it again. I'm interested in comparing notes with other people. I know there've been some sporadic reviews of it. I think Nerdrotic saw it, but I don't know that he posted a review. I don't know if anybody's really posted a review. I think I may be one of the first ones to post a review of it, but it's a good movie. It's solid. It's really solid. And I'll tell you, here's the other thing. The right now, kind of the barometer test with me and a lot of movies, because of all the garbage that we've gotten, all the social political nonsense that they keep throwing in the movies, is does a story make me think? Does it draw me into a world? Does it draw me in? Does it keep me from thinking about everything going on in the world? In this case, especially my foot that got soaking wet. And in this case, with this movie, it did just that. It wrapped me into a story. It brought me into the 19th century Europe and what happened in the story. It got me focused on the characters. It got me focused on Victor Frankenstein and his side of the story. He got me focused on the monster side of the story. It made me think about and get interested in a couple of other side characters that were interesting. One of them's kind of creepy, and there are a couple of creepy scenes with him, and it's that guy who plays in the last Bond's Spectre. He plays Blofeld. He's a little bit creepy, but when you find out, you think it's something weird and woke, and thank God it wasn't. It's not woke at all. It's explained what's going on, and it's interesting what happens to him. But the rest of it, I mean, it just takes me to another place, and that's what I want. I want we go to the movies to escape into adventure, escape into fun. I mean, look at these movies that are behind me. I mean, when I watch these movies, I escape into a fun adventure movie that I can enjoy. And that's what we need. That's why we go to movies. That's why we love them. Yes, I'm grateful that anytime there's a well-written film that doesn't push the message, it's a shame that we have to be thankful for that. But here we are. Yeah, exactly, Wes Cagle. I'm good with some gore and slow burn parts of great movies. Get better over time. I'm all for it. Yeah, yeah, and I think this one has that. It's one of those things where you get wrapped up in the story, and there's this theme of the overarching theme is what is life and what does it mean, and that's fascinating. That is really fascinating. And the psychological aspects of each of the characters, where you can sit there and go, oh, the reason why this person is this way is because of this, and this. The reason why this person does this is because this, and this. And you sit there, wondering what's going to happen next or how they're going to react in the story, which is what I want, which is what I like. I'm not sitting in the story going, okay, this is BS. This should happen this way or that way. I wasn't sitting there going, well, in the original Frankenstein, they did this. I was like, oh, wait a minute. That's totally unique. That totally throws me off of the original story. Let's see what happens here. So, yeah, I'm all for that. That's great. I mean, that's what movies should do to you. You should sit there and go, wow. Wes Cagle says, I have no problem with films that have slow moments. It used to be that it was part of the storytelling. Audience these days need action every moment of a film. Yeah, I agree. I mean, you got to have a chance for, something to make you think or make you feel something for the character. And there's a tenderness in this movie. There's a really sweet, tender moment that I'm not going to spoil for you that gives you something that makes you go, whoa, there's something here, something else there, and it moves you. It'll move you, and you'll be like, oh wow, that's interesting. And it didn't need any grand special effects. It's just acting and sets and designs and that stuff. And yeah, the Hitchcocking art of film. Exactly. I think I need to do something like that. I need to get like Rancor Steve and Gary and maybe Andy on there and go over just Hitchcock films and Hitchcock style and do a live stream about Hitchcock movies and why he was one of the masters of suspense and that art of filmmaking, because we need it desperately to come back. We need storytelling. We need good filmmaking. We need practical effects like this. I think you can blend CGI into it, but I think practical effects should go hand in hand with CGI. And I still think you need your actors to have scenes together, not on a blue screen, where they're actually acting and reacting off of each other. That's what we desperately need. I think so many films are missing that. And so many of them are missing those moments. But yeah, anyway, guys, that's my review for this. Anything else you guys want to ask or anything else that you're curious about? I'm not going to get into spoilers, but I would say, definitely go see this movie. It's good. It's a solid 8.5. I would rate it higher if it didn't have some slow parts and there's just one or two small little things, but I mean, gosh, it's the best film I've seen this year, and Netflix needs to get this out. They need to get it out in the public, in the movie theaters. CGI needs to keep to a minimum, use where practical, can't handle the effect. Yeah, I think use CGI with background stuff and CGI to help support practical effects is how I would do it. CGI should be a supportive role. It's just like you know, like AI and Chat GPT and that kind of stuff. You don't want them to write a paper for you. You want to give them the input and have them kind of arrange something for you. So, like, if I were to take notes and do bullet points and have GPT or some AI organize those into something, that's how you use it. And CGI should be doing that. Overuse CGI, especially in backgrounds, is what made the prequels and Star Wars feel fake. I agree. You know, George Lucas was pioneering that, and I think he overdid it, especially with the water scene. But I will say Naboo looked really beautiful. But yeah, the water with all the fish, I think was way too much. And I would agree with some of your sentiment on that, Wes Cagle. Yeah. So, but I think, you know, where CGI really stood out was Peter Jackson. I think took it to another level when he created Gollum. I think Gollum was an excellent CG character. And what you did was use CGI around the performance of Andy Serkis, which that is a good way to use CGI built around an actual actor who is giving you the performance, and you're just adding the effects around them or the effects to help create the character's look, which I think is the best way to do it. So, but anything else, guys? Well, okay. So coming up on my channel, Sunday, the 26th, which is actually tomorrow, I'm going to do a live stream where I'm going to go over the top 12. It was going to be 10, but I found 2 other episodes that I really love, and I couldn't do it. So the top 12 Treehouse of Horror for The Simpsons, and then look for videos about Young Frankenstein, which is a great movie that I absolutely love, and a review for Halloween of Dracula. And then upcoming next week, Heather L. and I are going to do another episode of The Pacific on November 2nd, the day before my birthday. And that's what's coming up next. And then we're going to have the top 40 to 76 on November the 16th. So stay tuned for that. So anyway, guys, hope you guys have a great evening or morning. If you're watching this tomorrow, let me know if you saw Frankenstein. Let me know what your thoughts are. Feel free to leave comments in the chat. I'm happy to answer any non-spoiler questions. If you have spoiler questions, feel free to reach out to me on social media. You can hit me up on X or my email if you find it on my YouTube. I'm happy to answer spoiler questions to you privately if you want me to. But other than that, folks, have a great day, evening, or morning, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care, everybody.